The walk starts at Cuffley station. About a quarter of a mile from Cuffley, we turn into the first footpath of the walk. Across that hill. The path becomes a narrow trod between fairly dense vegetation. The path then goes along the edge of this field, views starting to open out. As you can see, this section of the walk coincides with the Hertfordshire Way, although we're not on the Hertfordshire Way for long. You can also see that the path turns right here. Up there, that hill. Further along, after a couple of turns, there are wide views over towards Goff's Oak, and there is the way ahead. The walk passes near to the magnificent Soper's Viaduct. This viaduct is on the Hertford loop of the East Coast Main Line. There appears to be digging work going on in the foreground. From that view in the last shot of Soper's Viaduct, here is a view of the way ahead for the walk. A nice wide path, as you can see. The wide path strides majestically on. There's a confirming public footpath sign on the path. That's the way ahead. The path goes over a stream and then goes uphill, as you can see. From the top of the hill, here's looking at the way ahead. The walk goes straight on at that junction, but there are wide views from this point. There is a view over to the M25 motorway. And now that's the way I've just come, looking back to Soper's Viaduct. There's the viaduct. Now at the junction, here we go straight on and do not follow the path to the left marked Hertfordshire Way. That's the way ahead. From the junction, the path goes through a wooded area and rises quite steeply at this point, as you can see. The walk turns left at this point to the road called Silver Street. And that's the way ahead. Now on the path, approaching the road known as Silver Street. Now on the road called Silver Street. And over there is Goff's Oak. That's the way ahead. Further along, you can see this is a very pleasant road. At this T-junction, the walk turns right down there. But as you can see, to confirm, we have been walking along a road known as Silver Street. We leave the road to take this grassy path. That's the way ahead. From that grassy path in the last clip, The walk turns left along this path. Views open up to the right from the narrow path. That's the way ahead. The narrow path leads past a farm to this narrow path besides the main road. The narrow path by the road bears right and joins this wide track through pleasant countryside. The path rises up to this fairly overgrown area. You can hear the M25 in the background. The walk will shortly cross that. The path turns right along this wide grassy trod. Despite being so close to urban areas, this place always seems very remote to me. The wide grassy path turns left to continue to follow the edge of the field round a wide sweeping bend. Look at this scene of rural tranquility, only spoilt by the roar of traffic on the M25. That's the way ahead. The walk bears right along here to cross eventually a small road. Now on the wide dusty path that leads to the crossing of the M25 motorway. The path narrows on the approach to the M25. Now on the bridge crossing the M25. From the bridge there's a view over to central London, right in the distance. As you step off the bridge on the other side of the M25, this is the great view that greets you. Superb. The path emerges on the road opposite the King and Tinker pub. From here it's about 2 miles to the bus stops at Bullsmoor Lane, A10 Junction. Further along the road, at least there's a footway all the way. Further along the road, there's this interesting wall. The walk passes by the Pied Bull pub. The walk uses this subway under the A10. And there's the bus stop at A10, Bullsmoor Lane Junction, and the end of the walk.